be a different video. So my name is Aquari Doyle.
I'm Andrew.
That's Andrew. He's the team member as well. We're both team members for
I'm
Foster
the
Care
husband.
Board. So, our purpose here on YouTube is to create animal-related educational videos so that way me and my team, including him, can open our very own animal rescue center here in the near future. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe, turn on notifications, so that way you are notified every single time we upload a video. So what we're going to be doing today is covering why volunteer. They seem to have it under control, right? So he is here specifically for that topic because he has more knowledge than I have, because he's been, well, in the past, he had volunteered with the Humane Society for about 4 years, and I haven't really volunteered for that long, so he has more knowledge in that area. So
like the Humane Society has, the Arizona Humane Society has 2 different major locations, and within those locations they have different places you can volunteer for. They have cats, dogs, depending on the location. They have reptiles, but that usually gets wrapped in with the cats, or they'll have a specialist just for the reptiles. They have veterinarian volunteers, fosters volunteers, which is what we've been doing lately. They have vet assistant volunteers, adoption agency volunteers, you name it, they have people who volunteer for it. I'm not sure if the Arizona Humane Society still has animal rescue volunteers. I think I was on one of the last teams to do that. They don't have it under control. Like, they could always use the help.
So, just before I forget, I just want you guys to know to always look in the description. Obviously, that's our cat's tail. Sorry about that. Check the description in every single video, because we will have the research for this video in specific, but I just want you guys to know that Andrew will obviously have his own opinion and his own knowledge base. It won't be backed up by any research, but his own opinion. So just keep that in mind. Of course, we'll have points in here that are research, so I just want to let you know, look in the description so that way you can see our research for this video in specific, and look below that for the donation pages and links for different animal-related organizations. And below that, I believe it's above that, but it's the Humane Society of the USA. So that way you can see if there's any events going on near you, or just virtual events online, just in case you're not interested in going out and about just yet. So the first point that I do want to cover, so volunteering scientifically lowers stress levels and blood pressure being with animals.
I guess it depends what type of animals. Like, if you worked in the reptiles ones, we used to get snakes, so if you're afraid of snakes, that's probably not gonna help. But if you're on the fluffy puppies and kittens during the seasons, yeah, and I guess it also depends. Are you in the vet clinic or in the animal rescue, if your state allows volunteers to do that? Because I'm not sure if all states are the same for that. That might raise stress levels, because when I was part of, I never did the vet clinic, but I pretty much did everything else when I was in the Humane Society. So like I said, I was part of the animal rescue team, and we used to put down animals quite a bit, so that probably wouldn't help lower your stress level. But yeah, no, I can see how that could be true, but it could also be wrong. I guess it just kind of depends, I guess. Like, yes, this little kitty definitely lowers my stress levels. Why are your balls wet?
Okay, so the next point that I have, you gain experience if you plan to adopt. And don't cover that baby thing just yet. That's the next video.
So, okay, that's right where my head went. So what exactly is the question?
It's not a question, it's just a statement.
Okay, what's the statement?
You gain experience if you plan to adopt.
Yeah, yes, and no. In a sense, you're not gonna gain veterinarian knowledge. I mean, they go to school for quite a long time, but you might learn proper handling techniques. Everyone has their own proper way of doing it. You might be a little bit better at reading the animal's mood, but every animal's different. So I could go either way, but don't think just because you volunteer in the adoption agency that you're going to understand if your cat breaks a bone or dislocates something. You're going to know how to relocate that bone or the dislocated, but you might learn.
Well, the statement was, you gain experience if you plan to adopt. Like, let's say you're wanting to gain experience by volunteering with puppies, and you want to adopt a puppy, but you want to volunteer first to gain experience about puppies.
I could see that, but I really wouldn't. I mean, I volunteered with in the puppy clinic during the puppy season. I don't know how to potty train a puppy. I don't know how to train a puppy. I know how to put a leash on a puppy through a cage door so it doesn't sprint out running away from us. I know how to do that. That's not going to come in handy in your house. What's he doing?
He's the zoomies.
I know how to wash poop and pee off of concrete. I mean, you learn the basics, but there's stuff you're gonna have to learn. I mean, they don't. Some of these volunteers don't know up from down when it comes to these types of things. So, yes, no, maybe so. It depends how much you talk to the actual experts there, because typically there's an expert there, and then you just help the customer with the basic stuff, moving the animal to an adoption area for the person to looking at the animal. You clean the cages, you make sure they got food, you make sure it gets attention throughout the day, and the expert pretty much handles everything else. That's pretty much all you really do. Just ignore the cats, you can hear that. That's pretty much all you do. It's not like you're not really hands-on with the puppies. It's not your job to train the puppy. It's the person who adopts the puppy's job. So you're just there to make sure it's not going to die, pretty much. Make sure it's fed, gets the attention, and that it's clean, but that's about it. You don't really bathe the dogs, the puppies, or cats either. I guess with cats you might learn how to clean a litter box. You might learn different puppies, different animal breeds, eating habits. That's all stuff you could Google at the same time. So
Okay.
it's more of you just want to volunteer because you want to help animals in need. Essentially, it's not like you're going there seeking a college education on them, because you're not going to learn that.
Okay. So, The next thing is you build a network of professional contacts.
No. You most of the people you meet are going to be other volunteers. And most of the, quote, professional contacts you would meet would have met thousands and thousands and thousands of other volunteers exactly like you, thinking that if I do this, I could get a letter of recommendation to any vet school I want. That's not going to happen unless you make a personal connection with them. But like I said, there's thousands and thousands of volunteers.
Okay. This is a quote. So this quote is from petsintexas.org, which is also in the links down below. And this quote is, "Be a shining light for a disheartened animal." Disheartened means like unhappy animal, like they are in need of help.
So with the, I guess I'll start with puppies, or just the puppies or kittens, and then work the way up through the age range. Puppies and kittens are not going to remember you. So when we adopted Tigger, the first cat we adopted, he was in the Humane Society for an hour when we adopted him. The volunteers really didn't do anything. He had just got back from a foster home. He was too young to be adopted out, so he was in a foster home to get a little bit older, and he had literally only been there for 1 hour when we adopted him. Volunteers aren't going to do anything. Kittens, puppies, they all go quick when it comes to something like that. So don't think you're going to enlighten a kitten or puppy's heart. As soon as they get there, they're probably going to be adopted the same day. I mean, like I said, Tigger was adopted within an hour. I've seen cats literally get put in their kennel within 10 minutes. The paperwork's being filed for them to be adopted out. So you didn't actually you put them in there. The food and everything was already in there, and then someone's wanting to look at them instantly. Puppies pretty much go the same way, especially if it's like just a random husky they found, or German shepherds, or if they know the breed, those will go insanely quick. Teen cats like 1 to so I always consider a kitten up to 1 year old, where they're still counting the weeks. After 1 year old, they kind of quit doing that. I tend to just call them like the teen, like 1 to 4. It might take them a day to a week to be adopted, but in that time you might only volunteer once, because typically, like I said, they have thousands of volunteers all trying to volunteer. So you might only volunteer once. You might only see that animal once. So, and most of the time, in the Arizona Humane Society, we would work 4-hour volunteer shifts, and we were only allowed to interact with the cats 3 times a day. So I was opening up the kennel, petting it, scratching it for 2 minutes for 3 times in that 4-hour shift. And that one of those times we were allowed to take it out of the kennel. I mean, cage kennel, pretty much the same thing, and put it in an empty adoption room to let it stretch its legs for 10 minutes a day, in the 4-hour shifts, and then that was it. So it's not like you can coddle them. The dogs were the same way. We weren't really allowed to coddle them, so you're not going to make that much of it. You might enlighten it for an hour or 2, but then it's going to go back to being sad. And then older animals, typically after 4, they could be there for months, 2 months, 3 months. they can be there for a long time. You could really make a difference in that animal's life if you're there more. And typically they'll get bigger areas and they'll be allowed to be by themselves. Typically you have more leniency with those animals, the older ones, than you do with the younger ones, because they know how stressful it is for them. So the older ones you'll be able to make a difference in, but not really any of the other ones. I mean, and especially if it's a non-kill shelter, they're not going to put down the animal just because it can't be adopted. They'll wait for someone to adopt it. I've seen one of my last adoption shifts I worked. We had a 7-year-old cat. It was a big cat. It was well fed, well fed, and we had it for about a year. And some lady just came in to adopt a cat. Didn't want a kitten or a teenage cat. Just wanted a cat that her little toddler couldn't bully. So they adopted the 7-year-old cat, and typically with that comes other health problems. But don't think just because it's been there for so long that it's not going to find a family. The non-kill shelters will wait for a family to want that specific animal, and in the meantime, you could definitely make a difference. You could what was the word? Enlighten, I guess. The animal's heart.
Basically, yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, no, you could definitely enlighten the animal's heart, especially if they are older and have been there for a long time.
Okay, you ready to move on to the next thing?
Yeah, good talking, didn't I?
The next point is you get to connect with the community.
I really didn't, but I'm not that type of person. I tend to like to keep to myself and just like to do my work in peace. So I really didn't connect with the community, but I can see how you could, but I personally didn't.
Okay. You develop a sense of responsibility and selflessness.
It depends on the type of person you are. If you're already a selfish and irresponsible person, I doubt you're going to get those traits. You're typically born and raised with those traits. It's not something you're going to. It'd be really hard for you to get those traits if you live most of your life without those traits. If you have those traits, it just kind of. If I say this wrong, reinsures those traits. But if that's the type of person you want to be, it can help you lead. It can help you lead to become that type of person. But that's not going to flip a magic switch. You have to work at that every single day. I'm not trying to give life advice, but that's my opinion there.
You're active and improve your social skills.
I was active. I definitely was active, but I did not improve my social skills. And you can do the job very inactively too. I mean, it's not that hard to. It is really depending on what you're doing. I'm just talking as a volunteering in the cats and puppy side of thing, where you're helping them get adopted. You're not. You would be. You can literally just kind of sit there till someone comes down, and then typically there's 3 or 4 people there a shift, depending on if they're expecting December is very, very a popular month. Some places actually do the 25 days of Christmas to try to move more animals. So they'll do more there. But if one person comes in and 5 people are volunteering, only one person needs to go help them. So 4 people are going to sit there. So typically you're just moving an animal around, and that's pretty much about it. And you don't really have to talk to anyone either. You can make small talk to make the time go by faster, or you could just interact with the animals like I did to make the time go by faster. I wasn't standing around trying to have small talk with anyone. I cared more about the animals than I did the actual people I was volunteering with.
Now, just wrap it up. Say your last thoughts. Why volunteer? Let's go over that again. Why volunteer in the first place?
They could always use more help. They might seem like they have it under control, but they could always use more help.
And there's different ways to volunteer, but I already covered that in a separate video, so you can go ahead and check that out on the channel. It's already posted. There's so many ways that you can help, like making blankets. That's part of like being a volunteer, because you're volunteering your time to make blankets. You're not being paid to do that. That's volunteering your time.
Oh, they don't actually buy those blankets?
Huh?
They don't actually buy those blankets?
No, they have someone make those blankets individually.
I thought they bought all those blankets.
No, they don't. Someone just like really cares. Like some lonely old lady.
Yeah, you're talking about like these blankets, right?
Yeah. That's like crochet, I believe, at the end of the blanket, and that's just fabric. It's one layer of fabric. You can literally make that, and someone just makes a lot of them.
I thought they bought those.
No. I'm sure you can, but like, who's selfish enough to want money out of something like that?
Yeah, the employees of the Humane Society takes care of that stuff, so I never had to like, oh, I need another blanket. Okay, just grab one from the thousands we have.
Yeah, they get a lot of donations, but just because they get a lot of donations doesn't mean they don't need any more. They're like, don't volunteer, don't donate, because they have a lot of that. They have a lot of this. They're always going to need more, because they're always going to run out eventually. So don't always think that, oh, they have it under control right now, and they'll always have it under control. That's not the case.
So, like, one of the locations in the Arizona Humane Society actually has a thrift store. So you could just donate stuff like Goodwill, and it's just another source of income for them to, because they have to buy the food, the litter, and all the other stuff. They have to pay for the locations they're in. They have to pay the vets who actually work for the Arizona Humane Society. So it's not like everyone's volunteering their time. They actually have employees they have to pay. So this location as a thrift store. You could go and they could buy clothes. They have clothes, clothes, jackets. I mean, sometimes they have some high-end stuff. I've seen a Rolex watch you get donated there before. Cat trees, cat carriers, dog carriers, old dog cages. It's a thrift store, and it's attached to the Humane Society, so they're gonna have a lot more animal stuff than non-animal stuff. But I've seen some pretty good deals there before. Oh shit! I kicked the camera. You're gonna have to edit that. I cussed.
So
that's all
is
the
that
questions
everything?
you have? I don't know. You got
It wasn't questions. They were just like things that I researched.
okay.
They're points of research that I looked up. So yeah, that's basically everything that I wanted to cover. Obviously, there's more things that you can look on your free time with the research that I have in the description down below. When you first click on the description, that's probably one of the first things that you're going to see is my research for this video. So check out those links if you're interested in seeing more about that. But yeah, this video was mainly just opinion by his knowledge of volunteering with the Humane Society.
Yeah, I never worked for them. They never gave me a check.
So
Sadly.
that's pretty much it. So fine.
Yeah, it's a kitties.
So My name is Corey Doyle. My purpose here on YouTube is to create animal-related educational videos. That way, me and my team, including him.
I'm Smiles and I'm the husband.
So that way we can open our very own animal rescue center. So that way our team can grow in this animal loving journey. So if you're interested in seeing that, be sure to subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that way you're notified every single time we post a video. Be sure to look in the description down below for all the research we did in this video, the events page for the Humane Society of the USA, see if there's any events near you or just virtual events online if you're not comfortable going out and about just yet. And then underneath that we have all the donation links for you to go and donate to if you're interested in doing that for animal related organizations. So Andrew and I are out. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video, which will probably be in the same day.
My eyes are not red, okay? I am not stoned.
Alright, bye guys, we'll see you tomorrow.